Well, there you are, ghoulies, and here we are once again on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, Milwaukee, joined again by Lilith Lovecraft.
Hello.
You must like it here.
Love it.
It's got an ambiance here. We're in the October season.
Yeah.
And usually not the kind of season that I show a giant monster movie. Kaiju is what I think the politically correct term is now.
Yes.
But we have the extraordinary Gamera III, which so many Gamera fans haven't seen this film yet.
Yeah.
And this might go down seriously as the greatest giant Japanese monster movie ever made. Whoever Garth Brooks or whatever his name is that made the legendary Godzilla 14, I don't think you saw this movie. And if you did see it, you sure didn't learn anything. That's all I got to say, because this is a great one. This is really, really probably the best incarnation of Gamera yet to date.
Yes.
And, a formidable foe and just a great plot line. And if you do have the Gaios birds in here, too.
Yes.
And, Gamera, just this force of nature. Not really bad or good, but he is supposed to be here to protect us and the Earth. But he has a little trouble along the way there. I mean, you just can't have a giant fire-breathing turtle walking through a city and expect everything to go smooth.
Yeah.
And there's some great, just fantastic stuff that's happening in this film, and I'm not going to give it away. I'll talk about it a little bit in our next segment. But definitely come down to Kenosha, visit the pumpkin farm.
Yes.
A lot of things going on. We've got a big Halloween party planned for the Port of Kenosha Beverage House in Kenosha. Good to stay home on a weekend like that.
Yeah.
So that's really going to be a huge thing. Of course, film releases. Killing Pole, the movie, appearing at film festivals in November. Finally released.
Yes.
Greg the Grouchy Gremlin on How Bizarre TV. Yeah, that ought to be interesting.
Oh, definitely.
I guarantee it. Another film they've incorporated the Dr. Destruction character in. Interesting. How many movies can Dr. Destruction make?
I don't know.
Do I get my own whole movie like Elvira did? She got 2. Speaking of Elvira, I've had not run-ins, but interesting encounters with Elvira. Oh, that sounds a lot better than it is, trust me. But basically, she's going to be at Days of the Dead.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting, gives that a horror host appeal. And then I mentioned about them having something with other horror hosts, and they pretty much said they're going to be the other I'm the only host, or what did they say? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was a few weeks back, so I don't know what that meant. We'll see. I know other horror hosts will show up.
Of course.
Of course. They've got to. And what kind of encounter we shall have with Elvira?
Should be interesting.
Well, I've got an angle.
Oh.
That might appeal to her. Well, in the past, I've come up to her, and I got an autographed picture of her, but for Kindred Kitties, the cat rescue in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Actually, there's 2. There's also one by Lisa Marie, who played Vampira in Ed Wood's in Tim Burton's Ed Wood.
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to see if it's at all possible if we could get maybe Elvira to do a shout-out for Kindred Kitties.
Ooh.
Now, I wouldn't expect her to do that. I don't think she really does that kind of thing. What's interesting is Cassandra was appearing out of the character for a while, but now she will be dressed as Elvira for Days of the Dead.
Yes.
I know there's a photo op thing, but that she will be dressed up, and which is interesting. A lot of the fans did complain at that time, and I was like, Sid Haig isn't over here in the clown suit unless you have a special photo op situation.
And he's not doing that anymore.
Was that the end of it?
That was the end. He's done. He's not doing Captain Spaulding anymore.
Okay. He wants to move on.
Yes.
Yep. I had a nice conversation with him last year at Days of the Dead.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a really, really cool conversation. I won't go into it, but it was interesting. But I could tell some Elvira stories.
Ooh.
Well, Elvira, I met her at the Trans World Halloween Convention in 2004, I believe. I've seen her there before a couple times, but I actually tried to approach her. And while she did autograph a copy of Elvira's Haunted Hills for me on DVD and gave it to me, she kind of was like, "Why are you Dr. Destruction?" And she was, kind of was dissing me. Igor Destruction was more upset about this than I was. Okay. So we go on. And of course, on the big opening night at Transworld, it's a lot of fun. And they had Elvira on stage. We have that footage, by the way. And they give you some drink tickets. Well, as happens a lot of times, nobody I was with really cared to drink. I ended up with the drink tickets.
Yeah.
To the point at the end that I go up to the bartender with the drink tickets, and I said, you don't even have to put any soda in there. In other words, fill that sucker up.
Yeah.
And they did. So the whole thing's over, and we're about to get in line to go buy Elvira, and somebody walked up to me and said, "Who do you think you are, Slash?"
Oh.
My reply was, "What the did you say to me?" And at that point, Igor made the decision to get me out of Transworld, and he was, I guess he was worried that I would encounter the rather snobby Elvira one more time, and something bad would happen.
You were probably rescued on that one.
I don't know, but that did really happen, because she could be standoffish.
Yeah.
So that. But then after that, at Horror Hound, everything was cool.
That's good.
And then she came to the Horror Host Hall of Fame, where she was inducted by Count Gordeval. And Ivana Cadaver was there. Yes, and Stella. I don't know if you know about Stella. Everyone should know about Stella Desire, who was on around the same time as Elvira, and is a natural redhead, by the way. It's funny, they're both redheads, really.
Yeah.
But Stella, Stella has a certain pizzazz, and the Terror Dave guys knew that Stella and Elvira were going to be at the same convention. So what they did is they got shirts made that said Team Stella. Because I think they had the similar approach or whatever there. But I had a long talk with Cassandra and I was glad that she was at the the induction ceremony.
Yes.
And that was really a good one. Who was I inducting that time? Dr. Cadaverino. I also got to induct Toulouse No Neck. And I always said I would induct the hell out of Ivana Cadaver.
Yeah.
Yes. You too?
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. What are we doing? What's the movie tonight? Oh, that's right. Gamera 3.
Yeah.
One of the best. I think, boy, did we go off the train on that one. Especially
a little bit.
Especially when Gamera 3 is such an excellent movie. So get right into it. You're in for a treat. Probably the best giant monster movie of all time. Yeah. Gamera 3, The Revenge of Iris. Here's what I'm talking about here, about Gamera here. He's after the Gaios bird, and, he don't care what's happening. He's got to make a landing. A few hundred people have to die. He don't care.
Well, I like that about this movie. It's a lot more of the realistic consequences of having a giant monster attacking.
Well, exactly, and Gamera wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the birds in the first place.
Of course.
At that whole point where they all start running, and he starts slowly slumbering around, and the music right there, and oh my God, yeah, there you go, more to come. Blatant Gamera missing Gaios and taking out entire buildings. I mean, that's the realism here.
Yes.
Definitely the realism, the feel the movie's got to it. I mean, and just the way the cameraman catches thing and the camera shake. And, of course, the little black and white snippet you saw in the beginning of there when Gamera kills the girl's parents in black and white. And you just see Gamera's reflection in the car window as she's looking out. Come on, that's brilliant right there.
Oh,
that whole scene was brilliant. You know, that was just fantastic, and I just like the whole thing with the girl and the bullying going on as a subplot, and of course the Raishilio inside the cave. You know, but that's all like a Gamera Japanese tradition to have some little egg or some little monster that manages to grow the size of a skyscraper within the time of the film, even, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of their trademarks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it.
I've watched this film several times, and I enjoy it so much. It's just really, you cannot watch this and say that this doesn't totally blow away Godzilla 2014 to the dust.
Oh, definitely.
And what you have here is what they started to call suitmation. And, of course, that's a guy in the rubber suit.
Yes.
Okay? Which everybody thinks like is such a cheap way out. But you know what? That is a lot more difficult than you think. There's a lot more going on with that than you think. And what you have here in this movie, I think, is just a absolutely genius balance of CGI and suitmation working perfectly together, because there's something about the guy in the suit that you're relating to on a human level. Of course, CGI is great for effects like water and smoke and that sort of thing. You know, so combining those the way they did in this film is just sheer genius, really.
I really felt like the film with the transitions and everything had a very anime feel to it.
Really?
Almost, yeah.
It's got a mytholic, you know. There is this, you know, modern Japanese mythology, and this movie is a great example of that.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm just so happy that it was made, and just its way it's going. And, you know, the history of suitmation, of course, started with Godzilla.
Yes.
And after several sculpts in the final suit, the first suit, the actor could not even move in it. The rubber was so thick. They had to make another suit. Wasn't much better, okay? And the poor guy had to be rescued from the thing several times.
Oh.
They could only shoot for like a couple of minutes, and they were done. The guy had to get out of the suit because it was so bad, which in a way is kind of interesting because the process of doing animation is so time-consuming. Even doing a monster in a rubber suit was unbearably, the first one, all the hot lights and everything, you know, they didn't have a lot of stuff figured out.
Yeah.
You know, but they really knew how to work those sets and bring out that, you know, the miniatures and everything, which, by the way, they mastered the whole thing with the miniature boats and the miniature armies when they were making war films.
Yes.
So after the war films were done, they simply put the monster in and used their same, you know, what they knew. But they did not know how they were going to do Godzilla going into it.
A lot of advancements because of Godzilla. And
right. And basically, they were poor and they didn't have the budget for the film. And it's Eiji Tazumura. I hope I spelt it right, said it right, but because I love his work. But he basically said that Godzilla was born, and the whole suitmation was, and the whole artistic process of that was born out of Japanese poverty. So, and they went on and got better with it, you know, with the suitmation. But you know, it was brutal. You can look on YouTube with some of the making of.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all you'll get is the flux of the 2014 movie, which,
of course,
like, you know what, you're just like. You're like a cock block. That's what you are, Godzilla 2014.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if you're looking up to some of this good stuff, it's just fantastic. What I had heard now, or rumor mill or whatnot, is that The director or the people in special effects that made Gamera 3, the film we're watching now, are actually working on Godzilla, the 2016 movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? That's fantastic. The other interesting thing is that Toho somehow now actually had the rights to release the 3 movies from the 90s. So a possible matchup between Godzilla and Gamera.
Ooh.
I mean, don't talk to me of Legendary about King Kong versus Godzilla again.
No.
That's never going to happen. It shouldn't happen. And but
Godzilla
versus
Gamera.
You got box office gold there. Why am I the only one in the wilds of Wisconsin thinking of that?
Probably because you're the only one that knows Gamera.
I know Gamera. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot like people in Milwaukee. You know, he's got a tough shell, but he's got a good heart.
He tries.
And he saves the kid.
Yes.
Anyway, you got to get right back into it now. The illustrious Gamera III, The Revenge of Iris. Iris is a badass monster.
Yeah.
馬か焦げに馬か酒は久しぶりです
Beer sure would taste good right about now. He's whetting my appetite there for sure. But we've got lots of things coming up, of course, you know.
Yes.
ZumiCon?
ZumiCon.
Zumi.
Azumi. Yes.
Well, you know more about this than I do, so let me know.
ZumiCon coming up in January, I believe. It's a one-day event, small convention.
Where's this at?
This is held over at one of the colleges, I believe.
Okay.
Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. So, should be good.
That should be good. That sounds good. And, of course, Anime in Milwaukee.
Oh, yes.
I think I got to book my room now. I didn't want to leave last time.
Yeah.
We always had to leave for some reason. And it looked like something I would like to stay and check out, the rave.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nighttime events are always the best at Anime in Milwaukee.
It's kind of nice to get away from all the blood and gore, too. You kind of get overwhelmed by the cheerfulness of it, really, and color. And
it's very bright and colorful and fun. I love it.
But anime porn?
That's a whole different thing.
They don't have none of that there, right?
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do.
have plenty of that. I promise you.
I've heard it all now, almost, on Crimson Theater. Well, that's some great events we're looking forward to. A little too forward to me, because I want to bask in the glow of the October season.
Yes.
Rather than be thinking about, January.
And March.
And March, yes. I'll tell you what, though. I'll take January or March over 90, humid, and a cloudless sky any day.
Oh, definitely.
I know. I see these people, they're like, oh, that's so glad it's summer.
Nope.
No. And all your, the crappy festivals with the crappy bands and crappy food.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No.
Not my kind of thing. This is October, and
yeah.
I do like the winter months. Something for Christmas. We must do something for Christmas. Something for charity. The ghouls come out for the Christmas season.
I like that.
I'm glad that you like that. That's very good. But I like this. I like in this Gamera film even more.
Yes.
But I don't know. It ain't looking good for Gamera here.
No, it's not.
This Iris character and the Gaios birds. I don't know. And then this girl.
It's getting tough.
Oh, this poor girl. She blames everything on Gamera. She's going to make an unholy alliance.
I mean, it's not his fault he's a giant turtle.
No, but she sees him as the enemy that killed her parents.
I know.
And she even named a monster after her cat.
That's a little weird.
She's a little weird.
A little bit.
I don't like I very much like this actress that's playing this movie. And I
Yes.
like the movie and the subtitles, too, because especially a lot of those earlier Gamera films, which we're showing those up here in Milwaukee, too. And if you were a Milwaukee fan of Gamera back in the day, you did watch the show with Shirley the Spider crawling over the book, Shock Theater, or I'm not sure what they called that one. But I heard the spider was alive at the zoo for quite a while after the show. But they would show the Gamera movies. They were horrible VHS tapes whoever dubbed the movies practically were making jokes rather than they weren't reading the lines that they were supposed to be in Japan. So the movies we're showing are in restored letterbox with Japanese subtitles, which gives you a different perspective on our childhood memories. And it makes a big difference in how good those movies looked. And, you know, Gamera's enemies always were they were abstract, rather cubist. And Gamera always took a much tougher beating than Godzilla did from his adversaries.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was brutal, you know, and very interesting, the Gamera series, you know. They did say in mythology that the continent of Japan lies on the back of a giant turtle.
I've heard that.
Right? And we started this one out with all the dead Gameras. Things are looking very grim. I really don't know what's going to happen here, Ghoulies. So stick with our big guy with the shell. And, we'll see how it comes out at the end.
Yeah.
Get back into it. The fantastic Gamera III, Revenge of Iris, on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. There you go, Ghoulies. What an ending there. Still an ominous one, but Gamera gave it all to save the girl that hated him. How about that?
Well, he's Gamera. He's a hero.
He's a hero, all right. A strange hero. But that whole sequence there with Gamera, the girl, and Iris, breathtaking. The rain, the fire. Oh, this is just, it was good. You know, yes. It was good.
Yes.
That was really good stuff here on Crimson Theater Milwaukee. And it's been a pleasure to show that. I think these collections are available, so if you want to, build your collection. There was a Gamera Guardian of the Universe made in 1995. Mm-hmm. Then there's Gamera versus the Legion. Do you have one of those Legionnaires somewhere laying around here? I believe we had one. Is there a plastic creature to your right there?
No.
I thought I saw the Legion. Can we, yes, here we go. A Legion figure, which I think is pretty, is this for sale, by the way? Here we have the Legion. And I guess this would pretty much describe what I said about rather cubist, strange-looking creatures that have fought Gamera. And, wow, that's ugly. That kind of looks like the alien face hugger, doesn't it, from this way? They have a little bit of that going on. I don't know. The Japanese always had the craziness going on with their monsters, though.
Yes.
That's another good one, though. Gamera versus Legion. So, those three. There have been rumors about a Gamera 2015, but it's 2015, and we haven't even seen a trailer, so that's not, I don't know. Maybe they ought to just do Gamera versus Godzilla. Even though for this Godzilla that they're making in Japan right now, 2016, no matter what, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yes.
But I kind of hope they're not going to do another monster in the movie. It should just be Godzilla and really get into that dark statement that you can make like you did with the original.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of trouble with that. Suit was made out of like canvas. It was made out of wire and then tire rubber that I think they applied. I know they sculpted parts of it in the head and whatnot. And that poor guy was unbearable. They said it was probably not unlike Gamera pulling this girl out of the sludgy pod of Iris.
Yeah.
Iris wasn't really that tough of a dude. He just tried to suck. If Gamera wouldn't have blown his own hand off to save the girl.
I mean, he seemed tough, but...
Yeah, he wasn't so tough. He was just bad.
Yeah.
You know them tough guys.
Of course.
You know them types, they try to start a fight, then their first one that goes down the drain, and then everybody else has to fight for them.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, fantastic fantastic feature. He'll get that in the editing room. I know he will. He likes those extra things to edit. Our very own Nick Clapper. Genius. Visionary for Crimson Theater Milwaukee. So you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time for another visionary episode of Crimson Theater brought to you by Milwaukee's very own Nick Clapper. Clapping time.